My dear friends, I welcome you to a new podcast with me, Girish. In today's session, we're going to discuss about some positive things you could tell yourself in the morning every day. We'll try to kind of draft a morning routine for you. And if you think about self-talk, okay, self-talk is actually the things you tell yourself in your head the whole time. If I ask you to audit your thoughts and actually find out how many times you actually tell bad things about yourself and how many times you actually tell good things about yourself, you would be stunned by the amount of negative thoughts that come in your head, or the amount of times you criticize yourself, or the amount of times you tell you're not good enough, or the amount of times you're missing out on being creative because you're manipulated by negative thoughts, or it's always been like that and you just left your mind be on autopilot where it just generates these negative thoughts, and you actually start to give importance to these thoughts and you don't take action. Because one thing that prevents you from taking action is actually when you think too much. Okay, overanalysis leads to paralysis. All right, so self-talk is something which we all do, but we need to be aware whether it's contributing positively to us or whether it's messing up our lives. Now, what I would like you to do is, if you can find 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, just when you get out of bed or just when you wake up, you're still on your bed sitting, instead of rushing into the day, and once you wake up, the thoughts start to rush in your mind again. Even before you actually start to do something, walk or start your day, I want you to actually start a sort of routine where you calm yourself down and you bring back your focus on key essential things. All right? And what I would like you to do is, once you get up, you sit down and you actually try to calm down yourself first. So you try to calm down your thoughts. And one way of doing that would be, I'm not going to teach you a breathing technique on this podcast. We've done enough of those. All right. What I would like you to simply do is, I would like you to count your breath in and breath out. Okay. So nothing too fancy here. You just breathe in 10 and you breathe out 10. You breathe in 9. You breathe out 9, you breathe in 8, you breathe out 8, you breathe in 7, and you go up to 0. All right? Once you've done that, you realize that you now feel more calm. All right? And once you are in that calm state, you're actually into that moment where you can actually be creative, you can actually visualize things, and it's as if you've cleared the land and now you're going to plant seeds. Okay, that's how I view it. So once you're calm, so you've done your 10 breaths in and out, what you now do is you start by thinking deeply about impermanence. All right. So one thing I want to actually bury in your head is you need to realize that you've got no control on yesterday. Okay, it has brought its lessons. You've learned the stuff, but no point overthinking about it. So yesterday is gone, and your future will depend on what you're going to do now. Okay? And it is something we need to actually understand really deeply. Because the moment you understand that the only thing in your control is the now, right now, every time you start to overthink, you just tell yourself that, only the present matters. Once you say that, boom, the past, or all the thoughts you're having about the past will be gone. And even the anxiety about the future will be gone, because how can you feel anxious? Do something now so that the future is taken care of. So the actual moment, which is really important, the real moment, is the present. So it's something which is very obvious, something you've read, but how many times do you tell yourself that? It's the present moment right now, which is important. Okay? And that's what, the moment you realize that, the more energy you'll have, because you don't want to miss anything from the present moment. You want to do your maximum. Okay? So I want you to realize impermanence and coming back to the present moment. And when you realize that, the next step would be to actually also understand that if you focus on the good things you have in your life, you're going to feel happy. If, on the other hand, if you just focus on the bad things in your life or the things that didn't quite work out, you're going to feel miserable. All right? So there should be things that are working out in your life. I mean, think about whether you have a work or not, whether you're healthy, whether you've got a family, whether you have at least one person. I mean, if you have one person who's genuine in your life, someone you can actually rely on, I mean, you're very rich. You don't need anything else. All right? So think about those things. There should be things which are working out in your life. All right? And the moment you actually feel grateful for the things that are positive in your life, you're going to be filled with energy. And with that energy, you can actually do so many things. Okay? Because every time you feel dull, it's because you're either getting too anxious, you're getting bored. And why would you get bored? It's because you're damn not grateful about the things you have in your life. All right? So be grateful for these things. And, next thing would be to appreciate yourself. In the last podcast, I talk about listing all the achievements, all your achievements which make you proud. There are traits in you which are unique and which people appreciate. All right? So think about those things and think about how you're a unique human being. Okay? And remind yourself of the good things you're doing right now, all the good things you've done in your life in terms of career, in terms of friendships, in terms of family. What are the things you've contributed to? Okay? Feel proud about these things because it's all about the game of self-esteem. Now, low self-esteem, I mean, like we discussed in the last podcast again, low self-esteem leads to poor results and good self-esteem leads to good results. As simple as that. So you need to feel confident about yourself. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our strengths, but you don't need to be egocentric about yourself, but you need to feel good about yourself. You should realize that you're a unique human being. I mean, people who usually have problems to actually express their love, it's mainly because they don't love themselves first. So anything you can't do first, yourself, you can't actually teach it to people. So everything I'm talking about, everything I do, everything I tell people, it's because these are the things I do myself. So it's easy for me to talk about that because I do that myself too. And I've been where you've been too, where I've been I've been critical too much about myself. All right? And last thing, the third thing would be accepting things you can't change. Okay? Once again, something very obvious, but how many times do we actually think about it? A lot of times we are thinking about things we can't control. We are thinking about people's behavior, thinking about all the things that we can't control, and we're still talking about them, and we're wasting our time and energy. All right? I mean, if you're working at a workplace and you have someone there who makes your life miserable, okay, talking about it the whole time won't change it. Okay, thinking about the person too much won't change it. Set your boundaries, do your work. Okay, there's no point trying to change people, and you've got no control about that. Okay, so think about all the things in your surroundings which you would like to change, and you talk about them, but you actually can't because it's not in your hands. So the moment you realize that the only thing you can actually change is yourself, okay, you've made a big step towards happiness. All right. So I'll leave you with these thoughts today, and actually stop the call to talk to you right now. I'll see you very soon. Lots of love, Girish. Bye bye.